Riverside.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Nima Ali, and we are back at a safe space today, and we are talking about. Oh, wait, y'all done messed up. I ain't introduced my girls. Y'all forgive me. I got my girls with me. What's up, Danielle?
What's up, everybody?
Kiki, what's going on?
Hey y'all, hey.
Hey. Okay, y'all. I'm sorry, my bad. I wanted to get straight to it. Today, and look, this goes exactly with today's topic. How really not caring what others think about you is benefiting to us as individuals, as well as right now today collectively, because we learning. So we not gonna care what y'all have to say that's negative, because we're getting to
Absolutely not.
it. But we learning and we bringing y'all something new every single time, and that's what's making it authentic, amazing, and fun. So Danielle, we gonna start with you, our psychological genius here. Break us down to us on how, cause the New York, hey, I used to wake up in New York and they used to be like, shut the fuck up. So Danielle, tell us how not, caring what others think about you, how it really is benefiting to your lifestyle.
I think it reduces stress and
Absolutely.
reduces anxiety. I think for me, being that I lost, like, it's certain people, of course, who opinions you do care about, like your mom, your parents,
To an
different things
extent.
like, right. But and because I lost my mother so early on, I think not having you know what I'm saying? Like not having that, it kind of made it easy for me to just say, like, okay, well, this is what I'm doing, and I don't really care what anybody else thinks, long as I'm not hurting nobody, and long as it's beneficial to me. Like what somebody else's opinion may have to, or how they may feel about it, it really doesn't really have a bearing on me. I think with some things, of course, you listen to other people only because they may have past experience with certain things. So of course, experience is a good teacher. But sometimes I don't know. I just was always one of those people where somebody can be like, "It's a fire around the corner." I got to go around the corner to see if it's a fire around there a lot of times. So some things I had, some lessons I feel like is best learned, like even with somebody telling you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like just reducing stress is like one, because you're not held up to anybody's standard or expectation. What you think, Kiana?
I agree. So I'm kind of the opposite. I was always kind of like, I guess like the black sheep kind of sorta, because I go against the grain. Everybody loved Jordan. I'm Iverson all day, every day. I just go, I always dance to the beat of my own drum. So a lot of people didn't know how to take that from me. And in my mind, I was like, oh, I don't care. You can whatever. I don't care what you got to say about me, how you feel about me, or whatever. But I think to a certain extent, I actually did care.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And I mean, okay. You should care to an extent, because if a lot of people view you as a certain way, then you would want to work on those, traits that you may
Absolutely.
have. So that's why I say to a certain extent. However, now the more mature that I am, and the more um I had to go through things to grow through things,
I agree.
I acquired more wisdom. So now, like for real, like in real life, I really don't care at all. And I had to get to this point because I got tired of hurting my own feelings over and over and over, because I was trying so hard to make people see, the good in me, or
Right.
Mm-hmm.
like how hard I really rolled for them, or
Mm-hmm.
held them down. And what I had to learn is, people sometimes see you through distorted eyes, because they
Mm-hmm.
see you for the lack thereof. they don't, you know, recognize like all the things you've done or how you held them down or how good of a person you were. You do that one or two bad things because we're all human, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it trumps everything else.
Correct.
And it was making me sick, like literally, like physically sick. That's one of the reasons why I feel I have gut issue again. I was very anxious. Um, and worrisome. I just worried like every day, all day. So now I'm so comfortable within myself and who I am. Now I really don't care. And
Right.
it, even with really important people to me, you know what I mean? Like children, I'm gonna use that. You know, there have been some like sidebar conversations amongst them and like other adults to portray me being a bad person, but I had to think about it like every single teacher, every single doctor, every single person in the community, people that I have worked with throughout the years, family members, etc. They all know how I am and how I was with my children. So now I have peace. I didn't always have peace, you know, because it really bothered me.
Mm,
So I now like for real, I don't even have no room to care. You know,
mm,
I've given up so much of myself caring throughout the years. I don't even have anything left. And I'm
Right.
okay with that. And it's taken me now to get to this space because, you know, family members could say whatever and I'll be like, I don't care, you can say whatever. And then I'll go cry in the bathroom or in the closet or something because it really did cut me deep. But I would
Right.
never let you see that it
Right.
cut me deep. Now I'm like, whatever, you know, you can feel however you choose to feel. As long as me and God know the truth, I am absolutely okay. And I realize too, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And I'm okay with that. You know, because some
right.
people think I'm a little bit too aggressive,
Right.
too strong willed, all of that. But I think one of my good sis said something to me. We are imperfectly perfect people.
Yep.
And I'm okay with that because my tribe and the people that I'm for, they can't get enough of me. So I'm okay with that now. So that's what I would like to say about that.
And I just want to like
Are you
interrupt
crying?
into I am, and the
Yes,
reason
I
why
wanted to know, Danielle, what is going on, beautiful?
I think the reason why for me, like to hear you talk about your children, like and it not being a harmonious thing, like for me as I don't know. For me, my kids have always been like what I hold on to. Like they're the
That's
only
me.
things
Yep.
I've always and this is a big issue that I have with them myself. Like my kids, I feel like they're the only thing that I have. Like they're the only people I feel like that's not gonna change. They're gonna love me unconditionally. They're gonna see me for who I am, and to know that how you are as a person and that you don't have or there's not a harmonious situation or there is discord between you and your kids, like I feel like that's for me, like that's just as a mother, like that's heartbreaking because I feel like no matter what I go through, no matter who I'm with, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a whatever, like my kids, it's always going to be me and them. It has always been me and them. So to hear, like I don't like stuff like that when it comes like with people, kids and stuff like that. Like it just does something to me because, like I said, for me, I lost my mother at a young age. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't. So my children to me were my saving grace. Like I felt like those are the me losing my mother in September and giving birth to a baby in November. I feel like that's what actually saved, my life or put my life on the right trajectory or whatever. So just as a mother to know, like, I feel like part of my fruits of my labor is not just what I have to give the world, but it's the people that I've brought into the world. You understand what I'm saying? And the gifts and stuff that they bring. So just for people not to value their parents or to understand that just as parents, we're human. We're not without flaw. Like we make mistakes. Some things is a learning curve. being a parent does not come with instructions.
At
It is
all.
hard. It is hard,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you don't have a solid foundation around you or a village around you. Like it's hard, and I think a lot of times kids don't have a lot of grace, for their parents to understand that they're human beings. We're human beings as well. While we're being your mom or while we're being your dad, we're still trying to grow and we're still trying to find ourselves.
Yeah.
We're still trying to set our trajectory, in the world. So I just stuff like that. Like for me, like the kid thing, like I feel like, the Bible says to honor thy mother and father. It didn't say to honor your mother and father if you felt like they was a good mother or a good
Yes,
father.
that part.
It didn't say that. So, like I feel like everybody deserves a level of, everybody deserves a level of grace. That doesn't mean that it doesn't have to be a form of accountability, because there's certain times I've had to come and tell my kids like I'm wrong or I'm flawed or I'm, whatever. But at the same time, I'm still coming from a place of love. Like I'm still your mother. Like I still love you. So
Mhm.
just like, I just, for me, like I don't like stuff like that. And I guess that's coming from, like I said, speaking from my place of trauma with not having a mother.
Mhm.
So by not having that, like for the people that have it and they don't cherish it or don't see it for what it really is, or know like this is the only place that's home. Like for me, that was my grandmother. And my grandmother passed away a few years ago. And it's like, as an, even as an adult, when you go through things, you still need a place that is safe, that's home, that
Yes.
you could go to,
Yes.
Correct.
that you could land your plane in, and you be good. And like for kids to have that and don't really value or know what they have, like it's
Yes.
disheartening. It's just
Yes.
disheartening for me.
So
Mm.
before you touch on your point, Nima, I just want to say one thing, Danielle. I totally, totally get it. Remember, I had a breakdown, what, 2, 3 episodes ago?
Uh-huh.
And it was because of the heaviness that I
Right.
felt with my children. But try losing your mom at 5 years old. At least, you know what I mean? You guys
Right.
had your parents as adults. I didn't. Now I was blessed to have my sister, that's my sister mom, and my
Right.
brother-in-law, that's my daddy. I was blessed to
Mhm.
have them, but like you're saying, like there is no booklet or manual, and for your children to not allow you grace because you choose not to allow them to be disrespectful
Right.
to you, and you know you did not raise them like that. Or anytime they need anything, first person they would ever pick up the phone to call was guess who?
You.
Mommy.
And I was the
Sorry.
last one they would do anything for. So I was tired of breaking my own heart. Like, yo, like it broke me down to get to this point. I didn't want to be this. And
Right.
I don't feel like I'm being cold or callous because I love them. Like I would lay down my life for any one of them. And they're so unappreciative and so ungrateful still to this day.
Did you spoil them?
No, well, they're entitled. That's what I feel myself and a lot of other parents did. We raised entitled children. We gave them way too much. And they didn't really have to earn anything. So that one time you don't give them,
You're a
then
bad
now you're
person.
the villain. You're the
Right.
bad person.
Right.
So I
Mm.
had to learn how to, I mean, it's still a challenge. And I'm still dealing with it every single day, but every day it gets a little bit a little bit lighter. And if I'm gonna be all the way 100 with y'all, I got to the point where, so my life insurance, I kept that as is because it's been that way all these years. Each one, I have 3 children, 2 adult boys and 1 baby girl. And now I have a grandbaby. I'm a Mima. So now what I did, I kept the life insurance how it was. They can have that money. Any assets, any property, any investments, any additional money, guess where that money is going to?
To the grandbaby.
It's going to my grandbaby and my daughter. And if she start acting like those two, guess what? My grandbaby will get it all. And I don't even feel no way, no kind of way about it. Because I sacrificed my entire life for these people. And it was for what? it was like it was in vain. So
Right.
I love them from the. I'm always gonna love them. I'm always gonna rock with them. I would like for them to know that home is always their home. However, you can't come back in here and disrespect me because I was never disrespectful to them, and I never taught them to be disrespectful.
Mm. Wow.
People might say,
Jeez.
"Girl, you did that." Like, what kind of parent are you? Remember the topic of this right here discussion we're having today? I don't care.
I don't
I
care.
don't give a damn. I really don't. People
What
stop
I
caring
will
about my
say,
feelings. So why
um,
should I continue to care about theirs? And one more thing, Danielle. I'm so sorry, y'all, but this right here is near and dear to me. What I learned too, I sacrificed and gave all of me because I had my first son young. You know what I mean? So my whole adulthood was catered to them. And half my childhood, my first child, he and I for 8 years, growing and learning together because I was still a child.
mm.
Right? So I forgot what I was about to say, y'all. Please help me because this was good. What I wanted to say.
You was going into something. You was
What I
getting
was
to a
saying,
point.
Danielle.
I don't know. You just was like, Danielle, let me tell you this, and then
Oh, being sacrificing and giving them all of us. Guess
Hmm.
what? What they are growing up, they are growing to be adults. They don't give a damn about us. You gave
they
your
don't.
everything to them, and now you're the rest of your somewhat youthful age. You out here fending on your own because you done burn up everything given to them. They don't give a
Right.
damn about you. They live in life. You die today or tomorrow. Man, I love my mom. They probably gonna pass out over the casket. I shoulda, coulda, woulda, but guess what? Life goes on. They gonna do all of the other things. So I had to learn that.
Mm.
The end.
Well, y'all know I don't got no kids. I don't have any kids. But I will say that just from my perspective and growing, just growing, period. I feel like growing up, I was definitely a pleaser. I was definitely caring. I was definitely, I would be more sneaky because I don't want, my parents to be disappointed, or I didn't want my mother, mostly my mother, because my biological father was my dog. Like, I could tell him anything. He was for the streets. He raised me in the streets, and it was all the streets. So I could just tell him any and everything. Like, we had the most different type of relationship, you know what I mean? But then when I would spend the rest of my life in North Carolina with my mom, which was church and, school, I was a totally different person. In DC with my dad, I didn't care. He taught me that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was the big kahuna, I was the little kahuna, and that's how we moved through the streets, and we untouchable. But then when I would go and be in North Carolina for the second part of my life, I cared. I wanted to be the good little girl. I wanted to be, everything was so behind my mother's back, but at the same time, it was things in ways that she was raising me. And especially in the church, I was learning, but then the kids that I was with in the church, they wasn't doing what we was learning. We was doing other things, you know what I mean? So I think I really kind of was very confused because I lived a double life, you know what I mean? And living a double life as a young girl. I recently told my mother, I remember because we had to escape, and my mom had to get away from my father because he was abusive. But what I remember, and I remembered within the last couple of weeks, and I had to tell her, I was like, "Ma," I said, "what's crazy is I just remembered, like, when you first took me from DC, and we were on the Greyhound bus, and my mom told me, like, it was kind of like that Tina Turner movie and What's Love Got to Do with it, when we was like on the bus, and she was like, don't ever tell anyone where we are. Like, don't tell your father, nothing." So I became very hush about everything. The things I did with my father, I kept to myself, and the things I did with my mother, I kept to myself, and the things that was going on in my grandmother's house, I kept to myself. So I really grew up kind of a little liar to please everybody. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't intentional lies like, to hurt other people. They were just lies to just kind of not share what was happening in my world, and I always pretended to be okay. And it wasn't until I got to this age that I really started, understanding that I wasn't okay, really in those ages. But as I grew up and I started becoming a woman, what I did walk into was not caring. As long as my mother knew and my grandmother knew, I really didn't care. If one of them knew, I never would care. Like, as far as the streets, I never cared. As far as my peers, I never cared. I just only wanted to always make sure I represented their name well because that's what they taught me. And I always wanted to make sure that I kept myself safe no matter what I was doing. You know what I mean? But as far as people finding out, like, I didn't care. As a young girl, I had an abortion by basically force. You know what I mean? Didn't really know what it was, but it's like after my mom found out about me having that abortion, that's when all bets kind of went off with me caring about anything.
Right.
Like I felt like I could tell her anything, after that because it hurt her so bad to learn that in a way that didn't come from me. You know what I mean? So I would just be like, if I wanted to know, I just would tell her. Like, and as I've gotten older, it's it's funny that sometimes she'd be like, "Ugh, girl, why is you telling me that? Like, I don't even want to know that information, but I just be like, girl, cause I was outside. You know what I mean? Like, just telling her, cause now you're my
Yeah.
best friend. You know what I'm saying? Now you're like the person I can talk to because talking to peers is never the place that I learned you really want to be talking to. You really don't want to be talking to your peers like that. You want to be very precautious with what you're telling your so-called friends because you really don't know when the season of that relationship is going to
Right.
be over. And we think our friends are a lifetime, but they really are not. And who is the lifetime is your parents. So if I could tell your kids anything, just like I tell my foster brothers, what I'm saying? Like, I tell my foster brothers and I teach them all the time, your story, Kiona, is it's people that it's kids that have parents that they don't respect their parents. It's kids that have parents that don't love their parents. It's kids that have parents that's very disrespectful to their parents while you're over here crying about your parent abandoning you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're in the system, you've been with foster parents, but it's people that's with their real life parent that their parents mistreat them. It's parents that they don't do right by their kids. You know what I mean? And I mean, even in looking at my situation, I wasn't born to have kids. I tried, but I wasn't born to do that. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I can't care enough to say, well, I'm going to be depressed because I'm not a mom. You know what I'm saying? I can't care enough to sit back and be like, oh, well, my life would have been this or my life could have been that. I got to really just be like, I wasn't supposed to, and that's cool. And I don't really care what anyone else has going on. I can't compare myself to a Danielle. I can't compare myself to a Kiona. I have to stay at the forefront of my life. You know what I mean? And once we really realize that our walks are alone, as much as we want to have people with us, our walks are alone. Just like when we stand before the Most High, we're going to stand alone. Our mother is not going to be there. Our father is not going to be there. We're going to stand by ourselves. So, I don't care. Like, I used to care as a young girl, but as an adult, Man, bye. I wish somebody would, and I really just don't. Because at the end of the day, you can't judge me. You cannot judge me.
I
And
know
every
that's
person
right.
that tried to judge me, I look at their lives and I be like, I see why you're judging me. Because the
Absolutely.
the most imperfect life that you have, you wish your life was like mine.
Hmm.
Period.
Pooh.
Well, let me ask you guys something. So, do you feel like by not caring what other people think or what other people have to say, do you feel like it fosters a sense of authentication? Like you can be authentic with who you are or how you present yourself to the world by not being so much in bondage. Because I feel like there's a lot of people that I know who are like in bondage because of what they feel like they're going to be portrayed or how they're going to be looked at or
Hmm.
how people are going to view them or the things that people may say about them. So do you feel like
Hmm.
it's like a sense of freedom?
I feel like
Absolutely.
social media puts people in bondage because social media
That
make people
it does.
care a lot. You know what I'm
Too
saying?
much.
And
Way
a
too
lot
much.
of I have literally I can contest to so many relationships of people that I know, and I look at their social media and I be like,
That ain't how you really living.
Right.
you know what I mean?
Y'all not like
Yeah,
that in person for
so
real.
I feel like for me, it does make me be authentic because at the end of the day, if I want to cry, I'm gonna cry. If I want to yell, I'm gonna yell. If I want to curse, I'm gonna curse. I'm gonna do whatever it is that I want to do as long as, like I said, I'm still representing the name in which my parents, because my parents are still here and they are respected at a certain level. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to do anything that's going to,
Pressure.
make my parents not, look like they looking, people looking at them like, well,
Who
what's
read?
wrong with your child? Like, what did you do? You're out here just being a menace to society. Of course not, but in keeping it 100, no. And I will say, even in speaking up and doing, just going live myself and talking on social media, it's not really that I care about what people say on why I don't do it. It's more so it's so much going on in my head that I want to say that I just be like, how do I actually bring it out? How do I deliver it where it's not coming across, a way that it won't be received the way that it's actually coming from my heart. Because I mean, just the other day, I texted my homegirl and said, I was just thinking I'm talking to my friend, and I said to her that she need to go, do a live for her Instagram. And me saying that she needs to do something or suggestive was offensive. And I mean, she banged on me, you know what I'm saying? And was basically like the same thing we talked about. Text have no tone. And I'm like, well, I just was just saying, like, you should go live. Like, I'm
Right.
not trying to, you know what I mean? So when it come at me that hard, at first it was like I did care. I'm like, I cared about the relationship, the friendship, because it's going in a different direction. And I'm like, how? Like, I'm just suggesting you do something that's going to help get us ahead of what's going on with what we're trying to do. But then I had to not care and say, you know what, Nima? You had good intentions. Your heart was pure. You wasn't yelling, fussing, cussing. You know what I'm saying? None of that. Like, I don't know what this is, but at the end of the day, I know I had a pure heart, and I'm just making a suggestion to you as my friend. So I really don't care anymore. You know what I mean? And once I get to the place where I just don't care, then we can start going into a different direction, on the friendship. So to try to save that, I just had to try to look at it from her perspective and say, well, maybe I need to, maybe I should have said suggested. But again, I've had a brain injury and I'm learning all type of stuff, as we know.
Right.
So I don't really care because at this point, if you love me, you love me and you're going to be here and my heart is pure. If you don't love me, then you're going to leave and goodbye. Like, bye.
I think it's very freeing. Very
Yeah, it
freeing.
is. And
Feel
then you
like
don't
a
even wake up with
weight
malice
was
in your heart.
lifted. Right.
Yes.
Weight was
Yes.
lifted. Because, like you said, like a lot of people, like they need validation too much from other people. And
Yes.
No.
like um like some couples. You know what I mean? I'm
Mm-hmm.
just of the belief if you're really happy and you really doing whatever, you just do it. And you
Right.
just be happy doing those things. But when you go above and beyond and you extra, it seems like you're trying to convince not only yourself but everyone else.
Yeah.
So for me, not caring is like you do what you do and do it with your chest. You do it proud and you be who you are.
Yeah.
And I love where I can be my authentic self and cultivate relationships organically and nothing ever seem forced, fake, or phony because I don't even know how to do that. First of
Right.
all,
Okay.
because
That
my
part.
face gonna show it before my mouth even say it. You
That
know what I
part.
mean? And it comes out so fast. So yeah, I love being comfortable in who I am, the skin that I'm in, and not giving to you know what. And I love
Okay,
it
so
there.
let me ask you, do you think there's a flip side to that with not caring? Is there maybe not so much a benefit from not caring? Can that be kind of like a trauma response in some kind of way, or dealing with some situations by not caring? Like, what can be the downside or the negative side for not caring?
I think it can be. Remember earlier when I said, in my mind, I really thought I didn't care,
Hmm.
but I did care. So I
Hmm.
think that's the flip side of it. You having to know that you're really at a point where you really are comfortable with who you are and you know whose you are.
That's the part. Knowing whose you are is the part that make you not care because when if it's okay between you and your heart with the Most High, that's if it's a conviction in your heart, then you got to be looking at that thing different. You know what I'm saying? And that's the Holy Spirit telling you that you do need to care because it wasn't Christ like. It wasn't, spiritually like effective. It was a negative, you know, it was a negative it was received negative although it wasn't what you meant. And that's what I was even saying with old girl, like I knew it wasn't negative, but I didn't want it to go all the way left. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what can I say? Like, what's going on? Because, like, you're supposed to be my friend. Like, why are you even coming at me with thinking that I'm saying you need to do something as a negative? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, it wasn't to me. You know what I mean? But it's not it's where the care did show because I'm like I don't want to throw the relationship away, like this is petty to me, you know what I mean? So it's I feel like it can go either way, but at the end of the day I feel like if that conviction come in, yeah, you do gotta correct it. You gotta correct it if because sometimes not caring can make us go all the way off the deep end, and then that can also bring negative energy, and then you can also be going to the left where you end up cursing somebody out, or you just start the disrespect start setting in, and But if you just not caring because you know that you know that you know that you know, then you just walk away and just be cool with it and that's how I am. Like when I know I'm like, all right, boo. Okay, boo. Love you. Bye.
How do
Like
you
I
feel,
do.
Danielle?
Um, I feel like with my friends and people that I love, to me, I do care. Sometimes I think
You care
I
too
care
much.
a little too much sometimes, because it's like I'm not gonna say like trying to prove yourself to people, or trying to prove your self worth, but I think trying to get them to understand you, or you know what I'm saying, understand certain aspects of you. So for that, like, yes, I'd like when it comes to my family, when it comes to my friends, I do care about how they feel. I do care about what they think. I do care about how they see me, because at the same time, these people may be dependent on me for certain things, but I'm also dependent on them to fill me up. You understand what I'm saying? Like with certain things. So to a certain extent, I do care, but then to a certain extent, with some things, like I just be like, I don't give a fuck. Like it is, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like it is what it is. It's. I've
Right.
always been that kid. Like I know I'm gonna get my behind beat for this. but I'm gonna do it anyway.
I'm
At
gonna
least I
do it
had,
anyway.
yeah, at least I had fun doing it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. That, you understand what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like, that was me. I'm the cousin that, me, to tell a story, me and my cousin, we was pregnant at the same time. Now, mind you, I'm older than her. She's younger than me. She didn't care. She's letting everybody know, like, I'm pregnant. I'm having my baby. It is what it is. I'm secret squirrel. Ain't nobody knowing nothing. I'm hiding it. I'm not showing. I'm not telling nobody. To finally, we get to the point where I don't got no choice but to tell nobody, like, oh yeah, I'm about to have a baby. Like, so, like, I
And
don't
that's when you was
care.
like, deal with it or not.
Yeah, like,
Or
it is what
not.
it is. I'm about to have a baby. Like, it is what it is. Like, whatever. But I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, you saying, like, you quiet with certain things. Like, I'm quiet. I'm secret squirrel. I'm quiet with a lot of stuff. But to say that I don't care, like, I think the people that I feel that matter to me, of course, like, I do care about what they think, or how they feel, or how they view me. So, um yeah, I think, yeah, I do to a certain extent, but then to a certain extent, I'm like, no, I don't. Especially if I know
Yeah.
I've been good to a person, and
Right.
I gave my all, and
Right.
I've tried to put,
To
um
nurture that
yeah, to
relationship.
nurture that and
Yep.
to put
That's
my
what make
best
me
foot
not care.
forward,
When I know I've
like,
done
Yep.
everything that I'm
then,
supposed to do. Mm-mm.
and I've come to a place where, like, I'm starting to get to a place where everybody don't know how to love you like the way you need to be
They
loved.
That
don't.
is true.
They
Like,
That
don't know
is
how to
true.
love themselves.
we don't come with
Absolutely.
instructions.
Hmm.
We don't come with blueprints. We don't come with we're just humans. We all come with baggage. We all come with trauma. We all come with what we come with.
That
So
part.
everybody don't know how to cater to that, nurture that, or foster that. And some people don't want to even take the time to learn how
Yeah.
to cater to that or foster to that, because some people feel like, I'm how I am and that's how I'm gonna be. You either listen. You either take it or you
And
leave
that's
it.
an excuse. That's a
And
cop out too
I feel like
sometimes.
that too, but I'm also feel like you got to let people be people and see if it works for
You
you,
do.
and
Right.
if it doesn't work for you, then you gotta do what's best
Yep.
for you.
Listen,
You
let me give
know,
y'all an example. I was being bullied literally by one of my cousins like for years. Like I used to be like I'm loud, it was always I'm loud,
That's
to the
me.
point where it used to bother me, like it used to make me cry. Like I'm crying, like how can I not be loud,
Yep.
how can I be softer, because I'm being judged constantly, and she would have everybody around me around also
saying it.
judging me for the
Yep.
same thing. And it used to just be so hurtful, y'all. I mean, it used to be hurtful, okay? Okay, boom. And I don't remember what year, but it was in the 2000s. Sometime like, it was sometime when I was like working in TV. I had a dream. And in my dream, I had it was some bling in both of my ears, like bling, like it was bling. Like you know how you see people with a grill? I
Mhm.
had ear jewelry like in the middle of my ear, and I'm like, dang, like that was fly. Woke up, remembered it, everything. Told my mom. We just so happened to have a conversation, and told my mom about my dream. And my mom said, when you come home to visit the next time, I'm gonna take you to get your ears checked. Like I'm gonna make you an ear appointment. Baby, let me say something. While you out here judging people and hello,
Keep
Yeah,
going. You're back. You
you're
went out,
back.
but you're back.
my phone was ringing. You don't know what's going on with people. You know what I'm saying? And what ended up happening was my mom took me to the ear doctor. I have cookie by hearing issue. I have cookie by hearing loss where I'm supposed to wear two hearing aids in both of my ears. That's why I'm loud. That's why my tone is
Tone deaf.
aggressive. Yes, like and and then I sat back like and I had to tell the audiologist like I broke down crying to the audiologist like, yo, I have been bullied my whole life about me being
Being
loud and my
loud.
tone and all of that. And he was like, Baby girl, you couldn't even help it. He said, I know you got in school. He said, looking at your test, I know you got in a lot of trouble in school. I said, I did. I used to get in trouble all the time and them telling me I wasn't paying attention. He said, did you used to sit in the back of the class? I said, yes. He said, oh, you sitting in the back of the class. It's not just you weren't paying attention. You couldn't really understand everything that was going on. So guess what? That made me start caring about what people have to say and what people think about me, because at the end of the day, you don't know what's going on. You don't know. Just like people out here, they judge people that's fat.
Right.
People out here, a lot of these people that's out here, they overweight. The medications making them overweight. They have health issues that
Or
are
they could
making
have
them
a thyroid
overweight.
issue.
They got
Yep.
thyroid issues that's overweight. They getting steroid shots that's making them blow up like nitro. Like, you don't know what's going on with people, but you sitting
No,
out here
people
just
going
judging them
through.
like, oh, that fat bitch, that this, that. You don't even know. You have no clue. So you know what? You do have to get to a certain place where you do not care. And I don't care if it's your friend, your cousin, whomever. If they don't know what is really going on, then you can't. And because if they really cared about you, they wouldn't even be judging you at that
Judging you, right.
capacity. They don't. Like, I'm sorry. If you love me and you rock with me and you know my heart is good and you know I rock with you, why would you think anything negative coming from me?
Yeah. When
Mm.
people be like, you loud or you I'm from Brooklyn. I'll be like, I'm from Brooklyn. So, like, I'm from Brooklyn.
I think I'm tone deaf because they all, my whole family, like,
Girl, my whole
why are you
family
yelling
loud.
in
I
my
told my whole
ear?
family we all y'all need hearing aids. I said they told me that it was hereditary, that my hearing loss is hereditary, and I said I get it from my mother's side of the family because everybody over there they be cackling loud as a bug.
Well, everybody, we want to thank you for joining us for this episode on a Safe Space Conversation.
Yes,
And we also want you to hit us up on our email with some topics that you would like to talk about,
yes,
or some things that you may find topics that may be beneficial to you, or just even if you want to be a guest on the show,
yes.
hit us up.